Donald Trump's response to ICE agents killing a woman in cold blood was so depraved, dishonest, and shameless that even Fox News, his own propaganda machine, was forced to call out his lies. That's how horrific this situation is. What happened today shook me to my core. Anyone who still believes this is a fixable system is fooling themselves. ICE isn't a broken institution. It is a dangerous one that must be dismantled entirely. Even Fox hosts appear to recognize this reality. We'll break everything down. But first, I want to begin with what Governor Tim Walz said, not only about this brutal and unnecessary killing, but also about Donald Trump's direct role in fueling it. His words matter, and that's where we need to start.
This was so preventable, so unnecessary, and I don't know, I hope, maybe we're at the McCarthy moment. Do you have no decency? Do you have no decency? We have someone dead in their car for no reason whatsoever, and I don't want to be right about this, but I said if they do this, they're going to create a chaotic situation where someone innocent's going to get killed. And they did it. And now we hear more political rhetoric. Enough. Enough is enough. And so to Minnesotans, don't take the bait. Do not take the bait. Do not allow them to deploy federal troops into here. Do not allow them to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do not allow them to declare martial law. Do not allow them to lie about the security and the decency of this state. And let's let this investigation play itself out. Let's make sure we protect our neighbors. I encourage you to use your First Amendment rights and all of your constitutional rights, but do so in a peaceful manner. We'll gather back with you as soon as we gather more information that needs to be put out. But again, stay safe, Minnesotans, and we'll be back with you.
I understand the place that Tim Walz is coming from as a man with decency, but for Governor Walz to have to continue to ask Donald Trump and the Republican Party at large, have you no decency when they attack him, attack citizens in his state, attack the family members, the orphans of Melissa Hortman, who had her life stolen from her by a radical right-wing mania IAC, and that Donald Trump continues to push. They're not even conspiracies. They're just lies, just disgusting slop. He's posting on Truth Social because Tim Walz gets under his skin because he wants to see children fed. The fact that Tim Walz continues to ask, have you no decency, is heartbreaking because this is a man with a lot of decency who saw a member of his community lose their life today unnecessarily when just 2 weeks ago, Governor Walz was warning that this was a show, that this was political theater, that these ICE agents aren't there to keep anyone safe. They're putting on a performance on behalf of Donald Trump and in response to a woman having her life stolen from her, a U.S. citizen, which, by the way, that doesn't even matter. I know it elevates it to some people, but any person having their life taken in this way is disgusting. Donald Trump had this response. I want to see his post. We're going to get to Fox. I also want to read the eyewitness account because it has to discredit Donald Trump. Trump wrote on Truth Social, I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional instigator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willingly, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety. But the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe, We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. The on-the-ground account, though, said that the woman in the car was trying to turn away, and the ICE agent was in front of her car and pulled out a gun and put it right in like his midriff was on her bumper and reached across the hood of the car and shot her in the face 3 or 4 times. Donald Trump always has been and always will be a liar. And it is very clear how that language in that post is coded. It is coded like it is a response in a courtroom that Donald Trump is trying to protect his ICE thugs from litigation. And he wants them to know that he and Stephen Miller and Christine Noem, who should all be in jail, will have their backs when accountability comes. Right? That is written like a legal statement. The words and phrases that Donald Trump used sounds like a legal statement to me, because Trump saw today Tim Walz responding to the official DHS account saying that this was radical left terrorism. He said, "No, don't believe the propaganda that they're going to push. We'll hold them to account." And it wasn't just Tim Walz who didn't believe what Trump said. Neither did Fox.
He then said, "Get the F out of this city," to those ICE agents. John.
Yeah, I've seen the video several times as well. I've kind of gone through it frame by frame. I don't want to describe it because you can't see the entire scene play out. There's an area in front of the vehicle that is obscured by the vehicle itself, so we don't know 100% what happened during that incident. But what I saw, it does counteract the narrative that they were trying to push their car out of the snow, the ICE agents who were involved here, because that vehicle was clearly in the middle of the street as it was approached by a couple of federal agents before it sped off. So again, we'll wait until we get clearance to look at this video and have eyes that are more expert than mine take a look at it. But clearly there are very, very conflicting opinions of what happened. We have the one opinion from DHS, and then we have the other opinion from the mayor and local officials.
Even Fox's John Roberts had to admit, in the strongest way he's capable of, that the video does not match Donald Trump's story, or Kristi Noem's. And frankly, that's about as close to honesty as Fox will ever get. But what they should have said is far clearer. ICE is filled with violent extremists, people with criminal histories, Proud Boys, and Oath Keepers. And let's be honest, that's exactly the kind of people Kristi Noem wanted to recruit. Do we really think Trump pardoned so many January 6th rioters for nothing? He wanted them in militias, in ICE, rewarded with bonuses and loan forgiveness, doing his dirty work, especially targeting women of color and anyone brave enough to resist him. Protesting isn't illegal. Driving your car isn't illegal. Yet ICE is pushing a story that makes no sense, claiming they were stuck in the snow while also insisting this woman was somehow resisting. If they were stuck, how was she blocking them? Why was the first instinct pulling out a weapon instead of de-escalation? Because this isn't a fixable agency. It doesn't need reform. It needs to be abolished. Hearing politicians suggest we merely review ICE's budget is laughable. There shouldn't be a budget. ICE operates like a massive militarized force, wasting resources, abusing power, and protecting the worst people while Trump demands even more money for them. All while ordinary Americans suffer. What we're witnessing is corruption, lies, and cover-ups from people who protect themselves while innocent people die. Trump has never cared and never will. We cannot pretend this is normal. We cannot treat those enabling this as good faith partners. This isn't simple disagreement. This is cruelty and authoritarianism. The answer isn't to politely negotiate with people who actively wish harm on others. It's to hold them accountable so people finally see that breaking the law has consequences. Trump has controlled his party through fear and intimidation, and sadly, it works. Maybe it's time to stop pretending kindness will fix this and instead demand real accountability for those abusing power. That's the mission. And I'll keep speaking out every single day. And if you stand with that fight, support the work, stay engaged, and don't be silent. And if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.